Hey y'all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. Welcome back to class. I totally forgot about today. Whoopsie. So anyway, this isn't going to be as put together as the others. Anyway, okay, if you need the syllabus, or not the syllabus, the workbook, today we're going to talk about foreshadow, which, this is more predictive programming. Foreshadow is the word that is used within a movie or production to predict. So like in the beginning of a movie, someone says something like, oh, let me find an example. Or I could just get the definition. No, I already know the definition. Okay, example is, wow, complete blanks. Okay, predictive programming is used by the powers that be to gain complacency from the masses subliminally. Okay. The examples I have in the workbook are hijacking planes or terrorists. 1996, Kurt Russell's executive decision had that. 1986, Chuck Norris leave Marvin in the Delta Force. And in 1997, Harrison Ford with Air Force One. Okay? So, that predicted 9/11, right? Predicted. Okay? Global pandemic. I don't think... The thing I want to hit home, right, is how much control these motherfuckers have. Because I think, past week, everyone's starting to wake up to that. But I think what's important is that this shit is over 30 years old. Whoa. Closer to 40. Ow. And I think that it's important for us to understand that it's always been this way. It's just, we're in the age of Aquarius, so instead of subliminally, it's in our fucking face, right? Okay, and the other example I have in the workbook is global pandemics, okay? 2011's Contagion is very similar to how we experienced 2020. We're drinking now. Okay. 2002's 28 Days Later. Never watched it. Only watched like the first little bit of Contagion 2 or Contagion, whatever. And then I Am Legend, 2007. Okay, so that's all at least over a decade of advance for the predictive programming to instill that subliminal messaging within the masses, right? Alien invasion movies, end of the world movies, Civil War and World War, zombie apocalypse movies or shows, right? Climate disasters, like, what's that one with Dennis Quaid? Day After Tomorrow. Okay, but don't kick that ball like a crazy person inside. And what other disasters is the question, since we can't discuss. I think another main point to hit home here, I was going to do clips, but you can look up clips or just be aware when you're watching something in the future. I'm not a big horror fan or action fan because I understand the vibration in which they're produced and the way that they want to sink people's energy down into a state of fear, right? That's what this is, right? The Simpsons. We're going to talk about cartoons next week, I think. Adult cartoons. So the ones I want to talk about that are pretty recent are Civil War and Leave the World Behind. Leave the World Behind is on Netflix. Civil War you can rent on YouTube. I think those are the two important ones. Leave the World Behind. We do spoilers over here. I've also done Movie Monday on this channel. I don't know why I did this. Here on this channel. And we've explored... I've talked about both of these in Movie Monday. But I think Hunger Games is another important one. And I have broken that down very, very, very... hang on. It's annoying. I had to sneeze. Okay. The whole point, though, why they predictive program is to, it's the law of revelation, which we've talked about before in other segments on this channel. The law of revelation is the admission of guilt to alleviate karma. Okay? So last week we talked about, what did we talk about last week? I don't even remember, my workbook is in there. But now that Niall's inside, we can go back to the desk. Come on. let us, well, let me put this wine away quick. Hold on. Good job, Merv. Okay. Hey there. All right. Hey, thanks for coming in, baby. I'm gonna listen to Eminem. All right, hold on. Ooh. Charged your tabby for you. Okay, let me take this off. It's hot as fuck in this room. Okay. God damn it, did I leave my pen in there? Whatever. Alright. What did we talk about last week? Why can't I fucking remember? Oh, we talked about 90s TV shows. So that was also like subliminal messaging and ways to get you to behave, right? Remember, we live in a society that is all about obedience and control. And the ways that they enact that or carry that out or ensure participation in it is through entertainment, right? I know that decolonizing from these ideas is something that can be really intense because of how much energy, investment. Oh, here's the Movie Monday playlist. So we've done the Hunger Games, all four of those. Did I never do this? The second, I never finished that. Why didn't I finish that? Okay, I did do Leave the World Behind. We did They Live and Civil War on Movie Mondays. We also did V for Vendetta. So watch those. Why is this Collective Coffee on this? That's not in the right spot. I need to go in and change that. Put that in the wrong spot. But anyway, there's a playlist for the Movie Mondays. Hold on, we gotta get little buddy some music. Alright. Okay, so I mentioned that they like to do this when we talked about They Live in the very first class. Well, second class, technically. I mentioned how they do this admission of guilt decades ahead of time because that alleviates also... Hi, baby. Whoa, thank you. Yeah, whoa. There you go. Is this what you want? You want your girlfriend? Niall has a crush on Harley Quinn. I don't know if he's hetero, but I know he loves this song in this music video. Is this what you want? Why are you blowing on me, bro? Hey, I'm in class right now. You're just lucky we don't have to go to the college and do it. Actually, we both are, because that kind of sucks. Anyway, alright. Now... the admission of guilt, right? Like, these are our plans, especially They Live. And again, I have a They Live playlist as well. If you have been consistently here for class, you've already done that. But this is the way in which they gain complacency, because then when the situations really happen, so like, let's look at what's happening now. We're having mass rounding up of and deporting of, pretty clear that the intention behind that is genocide. Again, I know we're getting a little off topic, but we're going to talk about it because what they've done in Palestine has been the precursor. So if people weren't paying attention for the past 15 months, or kind of just shrugging it off, which is a big red flag for humans, then when it's happening to them, they're freaking out. They're putting themselves in fight or flight, right? Which again is, then you're easy to control, you're easy to move, right? The thing about all of this is first of all, believe them when they tell you what their plans are, they being the powers that be. And there's that 70s show episode where Hyde says something along the lines of, the three branches of the government are Hollywood, military, and consumerism, I think, is what he says. And ever since, I'm a big That 70s Show fan. Hyde was my favorite. That's kind of my type of man. Explains a lot. Anyway, when he said that, it's kind of like this light bulb moment. So when you understand how Hollywood is used, and not just Hollywood, also professional sports, music and artists, that's the thing about these influencers, right? So like influencers and social media influencers are like second rung kind of celebrities. Like if you notice the pattern of when, wow, I know we're going off topic, but this is important stuff, and this is all part of predictive programming. If you notice, when you come into consciousness, you're aware of the patterns. And so when you notice that someone gets viral and then all of a sudden you see them, you know, being a commercial, they're like Shaq, they're commercialing for everything. So what happens is when you reach a certain level of influence on the masses, right? Because we're the masses, that, just so you know, I will never sell out. I might need a manager one day, but I will never sell out. And I will never, I don't know. But anyway, it would be nice to have a little more organization with stuff. But anyway, I will never be a capitalist scum who's just like in it for money. And that's the thing, is like your soul can be bought, right? And so when they tell you what they're doing, believe them. Okay, where's that going? Okay, so influencers get viral, and then all of a sudden they start becoming spokespeople for all of these things, right? And then they get a profit, but they don't get anywhere near the same amount of profit that like the company or whatever gets. And you've seen this with, like I said, Shaq is a good example of this. He has his hands in everything, right? The general, what else is he? I don't know. Ben Gay or something. I don't know. The man gets paid all of that, right? But that's like A-list celebrity. But he started out as an athlete, right? So he was an athlete, and then he was in movies, and then he did all this other stuff. So that's the thing. When you reach a certain level of, this was not the intention, because we're going to talk about celebrities, aren't we? Lips shouldn't drink in class. Are we going to talk about, are we talking about celebrities or no? We actually aren't. So, okay, works out. We are going to talk about commercials and jingles. But that's different. So anyway, that's how people get on board with this. But anyway, when Hollywood knows that you have a certain, you or someone has a certain influence on the masses, they buy you out. It's what happened with Elise Myers. Like, she was America's sweetheart, right? And then she never spoke up on Palestine, so she lost a lot. But she was bought out by Zionists. That's why she never made a statement, because she was so initially into her integrity and like, oh, I bought this so I can be honest about my review. And then she was pressured by the people to speak up and use her platform for humanity and human rights and for Palestinians. And she didn't. And everyone was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And that happened to a lot of influencers, right? And celebrities. With good reason. When you have a platform, that's why I say I will never sell out. When you have a platform, you use it to change the world, not become part of the problem. So anyway, this is foreshadowing, or predictive programming is very much, and we're going to carry this over into next week, because we are going to be talking about The Simpsons. And as you know, it's become quite apparent that Simpsons are predicting the future. But again, it's the New World Order. It's the Illuminati. They're telling you exactly what they're doing, because they know that sheep and people are too distracted and dumbed down by the poisons that they put in everything to really pay attention. So again, it's that admission to alleviate their own karma so they can continue to be evil. That's the law of revelation. And then people are going to be like, we're in times of revelation. Yeah. Why do you think they called it that? Jesus didn't write the Bible. Humans did. The powers that be did, right? So there's a reason that's the last book of the Bible, Revelation. Again, admitting to what they're doing so that people, they don't have karma. It's a law of the universe, right? So anyway, I encourage you, if you are watching anything, I'll put the workbook link below for for Canva. If you would like a PDF copy of it, let me know. I'll email it to you. What the fuck was that? Did you just drop on my weights? Careful, watch your toes, bro. But yeah, I don't really, I mean, Civil War, I'm kind of telling you guys that. I just made a collective, what did I make? I don't know. We just made I think it was a collective convo about Civil War because it's very obvious to me that this is Civil War, and they just came out with that movie with Kirsten Dunst last year. So when they come out, when the powers that be publish new materials with your newfound consciousness and decolonizing brain and your awakening, watch it with a critical eye instead of being entertained by it. Watch it for symbolism. And again, go to Movie Monday. I'll take out that collective coffee and put it where it needs to go. But go to Movie Monday and watch what we already talked about. I did talk about Civil War. I thought that the way that Civil War was put together was really cool. I didn't know it was going to be following a journalist, but again, because that came out in the midst of what's going on in Palestine and over 200 journalists have been murdered, I thought that that within itself is another admission of guilt, right? Because it followed, the main characters are journalists, and I think that that's a really interesting take that I wasn't anticipating. But again, as they're bombing journalists and making sure that journalists cannot get the truth about what's happening in real life, they're making a production about it and sympathizing with the journalists. Is very ironic, done by design. All right, again, here these are. So everything, you know, Contagion, watch, you just have to watch like the beginning of that and that gives you a lot of what happened with COVID. But I feel like we are going to be experiencing that right now. There's bird flu and tuberculosis is back, I guess. Yay, welcome. That was sarcasm. So, you know, when you watch these movies that are predicting fatal or end of world things, again, it's not really my thing. I don't like staying in a state of fear. I like to rise above it. Watch it with a critical eye. All right. And pay attention because you then are not being played by the entertainment. Okay? Have a good one, y'all.